He didn't stumble into greatness. He engineered it one cut of the koa at a time. While others chase trends, Francisco chases perfection hidden deep in the heart of the agave. Every barrel, every batch, every drop, measured, mastered, earned. Casamate isn't about flash. It's about foundation. Born in the heat, refined through patience, and bottled with intent. This isn't tequila for the masses. This is craftsmanship for those who respect the grind. On this episode of Tactical Tequila Podcast with your host, Matt Wilson. If you enjoy the show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it to your social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show. Welcome back, everyone. Matt with Tactical Tequila Podcast here. And on tonight's show, I have a great show planned for you. Now, believe it or not, this tequila here, Casamate, has won several awards for how delicious and how amazing this tequila is. On tonight's show, I have Francisco Gonzalez, who is a co-founder and the CEO of Casamate. He didn't inherit the throne. He built it out of agave, sweat, and sleepless nights. Long before the medals and headlines, Francisco was chasing something deeper. Purity in a bottle and truth in every drop. Casamate wasn't just created to follow tradition. It was crafted to earn it. From the heart of Jalisco to the hands of the believers worldwide, this isn't just tequila, it's a testament to the patience, precision, and purpose. Because in a world full of shortcuts, Francisco chose the long road and the paved one with fire, faith, and flavor. This is Casamate, where legacy isn't bought, it is distilled. Francisco, welcome to the show. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being on.
First off, thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me tonight. It's an honor to be here. I've been looking forward to this conversation because, as you mentioned, Casamate is born from connection, and I know that your podcast it's exactly what it's about, right? Connecting people. So I appreciate the space to share our story, our purpose, and what drives Casamate into something meaningful, one bottle and one sip at a time. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, and salud.
Salud, salud.
What moment or experience first lit the fuse that would become Casamate? Was it born out of passion, purpose, or just the need to create something truly on your own?
Oh, that's a great question, Matt. I gotta go back to, let's say, 10 years ago, while working next to Oscar Madrid, who's also the co-founder and our master distiller. At that time we were working with another small batch tequila brand. We were helping them with marketing strategy. Just so that you know a little bit of our background, Oscar and I, we met in university down in Jalisco, Mexico. We both went for a marketing major, little bit before Facebook, so you can imagine how everything has evolved. But we both been passionate about brands, and being in Jalisco, well, you are surrounded by the tequila industry. So that's how we landed in couple of marketing strategy, branding, tequila projects. But there was a specific brand that we were working, as I mentioned, maybe around 10 years ago, helping them with their marketing strategy. We did finish the project. Everything went successfully, and after that, that's when everything clicked. After that, Oscar and I thought, if we're doing this successfully for others, I think it's the time to do it for ourselves. So that's how everything started. But for us, it was, how can we make things better? How can we do things differently? So instead of following the trends of the tequila industry, which is more focused in mass production, we decided to return back to our roots. So Casamate was born with the idea to create a natural, clean tequila made, the way it was done 50, 60, 7 years ago, how our grandparents, great grandparents used to drink tequila before, all this industrialization of the tequila world. So Casamate was born out of passion and purpose, and our main goal was to offer consumers a pure and honest tequila. So I would say that was the lead the lead that turned Casamate into what it became. No.
I want to back up just a little bit, and I want to find out who Francisco was before all of this happened. How did that version of you shape the way that you craft tequila to get today?
Yeah, it's a very, very, very interesting story, and like I assume we all do, right? So as I mentioned, I was born and raised down there in Jalisco, surrounded by agave fields. I had the opportunity and privilege, you can say, to be born in a family that has roots in the industry. My family, they've been growing agave for quite some time now. I think I am the third generation of agave farmers. So I grew up fascinated by how nature transformed soil, water, and time into something meaningful. As mentioned, my background is in marketing. That's how I met Oscar back in university, and since then we started, of course, with a good friendship. Then we started working in couple projects. So we've been lifelong friends now. We have seen each other evolve and in with our families and everything. So that's kind of my roots. As mentioned, working on other tequila projects, we saw how many brands are focused on how can I make the process faster, how can I produce more, how can I cut costs, how can I make this more efficient. So that's, as I mentioned, that's when we decided to honor the original handcrafted process to bring authenticity back. A little bit of how I end up here in the United States. It was 2014. I was looking for new opportunities. I was planning to come to Los Angeles for 1 year. It's been 11 years later, and I'm still here, married to my beautiful wife. I met her here in San Diego, California. She's also from Guadalajara, and so we end up living here in LA. And I'm very grateful for the journey. When I first arrived, I had a brand strategy job, but unfortunately, it fell through. So I started from the bottom. I started door knocking, looking for opportunities, and I started literally shaking signs outside Metro PCS stores, which, for those who don't know, it's a cell phone store. Passing out flyers, trying to bring traffic into the store to bring business in. And eventually, with hard work and dedication, I got into the district management position here in an area of LA. But that experience taught me that humility, perseverance, ambition, the same values that have shaped us, that shaped Casamate, right? That have that help us shape Casamate. And as I adapted to my new life in the US, I noticed how often Mexico was misunderstood. If we turn on the news, it's always about the bad stuff. Don't go there, and it's dangerous, and we already know. But for me, Casamate became a way to share the good Mexico with the world. It's warm, it's people, it's culture, it's craftsmanship. So that's how we feel that every bottle tells that story.
Well, and I couldn't agree with you more. Having been to Mexico probably about 5 or 6 times last year, and I've traveled all over the world. And the misconception is always there that Mexico's this bad place. And that's what the news and the media outlets, that's what they portray it to be. And it's far from that. I always tell people when they say, "Oh, well, it's so unsafe there." You could go to Chicago, you could go to LA, you could go to any major city in the US, and there's going to be crime just like there is in major cities in Mexico.
Yeah,
If you go there and you want to experience the culture and you want to experience everything that Mexico has to give, and you're not out there being, for lack of better words, more like flamboyant and drawing attention to yourself, then you're going to be just as safe as if you were in your own neighborhood.
totally agree, Matt. As I mentioned, I think a lot of this has to do with bad publicity advertisement. Uh, Living here in LA, I have met so many amazing people from all over the world, and usually we will invite our friends from, you name it, Denmark, Norway, Spain, Central America, South America. We will invite them to Jalisco, and many of them have told me, "Oh my God, we had the time of our lives." So it's like you're saying, everywhere we go, no matter what country it is, what city, especially if it's a major city, you just have to be cautious what areas you should go into and what areas you shouldn't, right? So same concept, but I'm very happy to hear that your experience in Mexico has been great, and I assume if you've been 6 times over the last year, it's because you're loving it, and we can't wait to have you visiting us down there in Jalisco, Matt. We will be
Well,
honored.
hopefully on the next trip, I'll be able to make it to the distillery.
Yes, we can do a tour. I took some distributors that are interested in carrying Casamate from El Salvador, and we took them to Guadalajara, the full city. Then we took them to Tequila Town, and then we end up in Puerto Vallarta. So we did the full tour like in 4 or 5 days. They were super happy about it. So
That
we
that
can do the
that that was
same.
a trek. That was a trek for you then. If you went from Jalisco over to Guadalajara and then down to Puerto
Yes.
Vallarta.
It was a little bit of a drive, but I don't know if you knew, before Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta, you used to do 5 hours. They just built a new toll road. So now you do like half of the time. So now
Oh,
it's
wow.
doable. If you're 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, it's doable.
Okay.
So can't wait to take you, Matt.
Yeah. So in my trips there, I've been from Tequila to Guadalajara, Tlaquepaque, Arandas, Jiquiapan, Michoacan area. Been through Mexico.
Beautiful, beautiful. And a- and every place is different, right? Even though it's close next to each other, but you can get to sense different traditions, different food, different flavors, different even spirits, right? And that's what makes it magical.
From your early days, what lesson would you say that you've learned within the industry that you still live by? And even though when everything basically kind of changes around you, that you still stick to?
Yeah, Matt, I think not only in the Casamata project, but in life, you have to stay true to your values, right? To your ideas, to the why, the reason why you do things. So, in this case, in this industry, there's always people telling you how to optimize, how to save time, how to cut corners, how you can produce more, how celebrity behind your brand can help you get to the masses. But at the end of the day, I think that is more of a trend. I stay true to the values, to the reason why we started this, why we're doing this, and I don't listen to the noise because for me is that right. Uh, I think you have to trust your vision, experiment, because you have to go through the path to the learning curve to the process, but stay authentic, right? I think that's a lesson that I have learned and that we still apply since day one.
And so talking about that, what is the hardest no that has shaped the way the brand is to what it is now?
Oh, that's a very good question and a little bit tough and it's been tough on because we had to turn down a bigger investment group, a bigger investment firm from the spirits world, the spirits industry. They came up interested in the brand, a proposal, and it sounded tentative, because it was gonna definitely help the brand grow and scale in a faster pace. But I would say that was the hardest no, because as you might know, in this spirits world, in the tequila world, you need capital to produce, to have inventory, to advertise and to get into markets. But we knew that accepting this group would mean compromising our values because the way that they operate is as previously mentioned is more like where can we cut costs, how can we save time. So for us, that was a hard no. Of course the brand might have grown faster, but it wouldn't have been our casamate, the casamate that we stand behind. So saying no kept our soul intact, right? I would say that's been one of the hardest no.
Well, and scaling is always tough because one, you don't always want to outgrow the brand. If you're looking at tradition and you're looking at keeping it artisanal and you're looking at heritage of tequila, and now you throw in, we have this investor and this distributor that want to scale it up and mass produce it. At what point do you lose the quality then in all of it, in the heritage, in the product itself, the taste, the experience when you go to the distillery? At what point do you lose that quality if you're trying to scale it based on other people's vision of what you should be scaling at?
Exactly. So you're 100% correct, Matt. For us, that was the reason, right? We wanna keep the soul and the essence and the values of Casa Mate as the day we started, no? And of course, this is a business and we're looking for it to be profitable, and we're looking for Casamate to develop and grow. But we're going with the same concept. We want this to be organic. Same concept as the juice. We want our growth to be organic, and we wanna partner with people that align to our values and concept, which is exactly what you just mentioned.
Now, kind of going into the process and in how casamate is made, what's one detail in the process that you refuse to compromise on? And even if no one else notices what that is, to you, what is that one process that you refuse to compromise on?
Well, I would say the base, the main ingredient. We never use immature or non-organic certified agave. With USDA and European regulations, you need to be able to track the life cycle of the agave. So Oscar and the team out there in Jalisco, they carefully select fully mature agave that are certified organic. And even if it takes more time and cost to produce, right? Because at the end of the day, it lands on that. We want to stay consistent on that part, and we also still cook them in traditional stone oven with steam vapor. And this is what I would say gives Casamate its unique character. We refuse to rush. Every batch must feel handcrafted. As mentioned, meeting USDA European Union organic standard is demanding and expensive, but staying true to those principles, it's part of our brand's DNA. It's who we are and what we stand for, right? And yeah, I think that has always to be consistent in our brand.
Now, you mentioned things about the process, but if we were to walk through your distillery right now, and I feel like I know the answer to this, and I'm sure a lot of listeners feel like they know the answer to this question. But if we walked through your distillery right now, what's one scent, sound, or sight that would define Casamate's soul?
I have the three of them. So scent, and I think you nailed it. The smell of freshly cooked agave, right? Yeah, that's one of the most amazing experiences when you're walking into any distillery to get that specific agave smell, especially right after you open the stone oven, is like
Oh, yeah.
wow, right? And then being able to try the cooked agave, the pulp, it's amazing. But uh but going going more specific into what defines the casamate soul, at the distillery, there's a big parota tree. It must be more than 100 years. I think they told me like 120, something like that. So it's huge parota tree, and it's in the field outside of the distillery. That's where we always go and do our carne asadas. That's where we go. We will take you, Matt, to do our carne asada because it shades a whole courtyard. So there's a small wine chime hanging from the tree. So the when there's breeze, when there's little air flowing, you can listen to the soft chime singing. So it's a very relaxing sound, And imagine yourself if you're there, sunset, 6, 7 p.m., sunset in the agave fields. You're sipping, you're having a sip of casamate, watching the sunset, and with that sound, fresh air, uh, it's a it's a pretty beautiful moment to remember. So I would say hearing that sound, that's our soul right there.
Now, we talked a little bit about scaling and how Casamate honors tradition. How do you balance innovation with honoring that heritage of tequila and making that come before you?
Right. So, I think, Matt, that innovation lives in our sustainability practices, in our certifications, and in our clean production. Heritage lives in how we replicate the original handcrafted method. So I think Casamate is where tradition meets consciousness. So it's an old soul with a modern mind.
So now, as a multi-award winning tequila, an amazing tequila, what's one production method that you have made, or what's one production decision that you have made that others told you not to, but it turned out to be the genius idea that has made Casamate what it is?
Another great question, Matt. Using hand blown recycled glass made by local artisans, and also creating our labels out of the recycled agave fiber was a little bit of a crazy idea, because everyone in the industry, experts, told us that is way too expensive. Why would you do that? It's too complicated. You're getting yourself into more issues. But that's exactly what sets us apart. Yes, it's more work, but it also reflects who we are, and also the kind of world we want to build. Also, for us, it's big to provide more job opportunities to our local communities. In the organic farming, we have to dedicate more time into hand labor, but that creates more jobs. In the recycle hamlon glass, we are providing more jobs to local communities. Also, actually, probably you've been there in Tonala, Jalisco. That's where we produce our hand blown recycled glass. So it's made by local artisans that are experts. If you go at hand blown glass, the glass factory, it's art, right? It's incredible what they do. So for us, that's big. As I mentioned, people told us, no, why? You shouldn't do that. Just lower cost and increase production, and it's more scalability. But for us, it was that. Is no, this is what we stand for, and as I mentioned, reflects who we are.
Well, in these bottles, in the bottle that I'm holding here, which is actually the same one that you gave me in LA when we first met, you can see the imperfections that comes from being hand blown. I mean, it's got the little ripple waves here and a little indentation from the where they were actually blowing it. But in the bottom of the bottle, you have it embossed with your logo. Tell me a little bit about
Yes.
that.
Yes, so even though it's hand blown, we had to develop our own mold. So while we were developing the mold, Oscar and I thought, hey, why don't we include our logo, because that's like the signature, right? And at the beginning, it was a little bit of a challenge. What you just mentioned, Matt, the bottles are not perfect, and we I guess as humans, it's nature that we look for perfection, right? But when we start getting this a lot of variation in the bottle and imperfections, and sometimes we have a very millimetric variation even in the top, so sometimes the caps can be a little twisted, and we were debating and struggling through that. Yeah, yeah, but at the end of the day, Oscar and I realized, you know what, that's what sets us apart, and it's just like human beings, we are all different, one alike. No, there's no two that are the same, so why not, no?
Let's move into legacy. Your legacy and the legacy of Casamate. Uh, so Casamate translates into House of Friends.
Yes.
But beneath that, what legacy are you truly building?
Oh, and another great question, Matt. You know, the name says it, Casamate. Casamate was born from a group of friends united by shared vision and values. Because at this stage, Casamate is more friends and partners than just Oscar and me. Oscar and I started the project, but with time, more people have been adding up into the company. So at the end of the day, is that a group of friends that share vision, values. As I mentioned, we want to show the good side of Mexico to the world to prove that it's possible to build a sustainable, conscious brand that respect both people and the planet, our communities, and also we thought, why not be a force for change in the industry? If Casamate can do it, maybe our friends and peers in the industry will be inspired to do stuff like this, right? Why not? So for me, legacy means creating something real that outlives us, something that inspires future generations to keep doing things the right way.
Now, I kind of alter this question for different brands, but when people drink Casamate years after you're gone, what do you want them to feel?
Well, so uh, I, I would want them to taste honesty, like what an honest product tastes like, to feel the connection with nature, with time, and to the people behind it, right? That makes this possible. Um, I every I think every sip should remind them that good things in life takes time and also integrity. So I would say that's what I would love people to feel.
How do you measure success when in metals, markets, and moments can't be quantified?
Okay, so I think success is when people genuinely loves uh, your our tequila, and everything we stand for. Of course, awards are nice, and it's like a prize, but I think real success is when someone takes a sip and says, "This feels right. This feels good, and it tastes good." I think that's success for me.
I love that. And honestly, you couldn't get a better justification of success there. Because when people love the product or what you're putting out, it's that self gratification that you pat yourself on the back and I did something that someone loves. I recently had a guest on in the law enforcement side, and he said you get into law enforcement because you want to help people.
Right.
Well, when it comes to tequila making, you want to help people. You want to help those that help you make it. You want to
Yes.
give them jobs. You want to help those that drink it because you want them to love the product that you're putting out. That keeps you in business. That keeps also those people that are making it and helping you produce it. That keeps
Correct.
them gainfully employed. And it's just that ebb and flow of you're helping people.
Correct. You nailed it, Matt. You nailed it. I think we are here in life with a purpose, and I think that's one of the main, no, help each other, help people. As you mentioned, you can imagine how many families are behind not only Casamate, but in all the tequila, mezcal industry, all spirits industry. Uh, People putting hard work behind it, but also the families that depend on that, and so it's it's a chain of good, right, that multiplies. And so yeah, you nailed it. When you have people just the same way, when we met in person, when we have people trying and sipping and saying, hey, I like this, I love the profile, and as you know, there's plenty great tequilas in the market. Uh, but in the case of Casamate, when they also tell you, and I like what Casamate stands behind, what you guys are doing besides tequila, that's a home run. That's the success right there.
Couldn't
And I think the medals are extra, as I mentioned. Is great and it's an accomplishment, but true success is with the people and helping people.
couldn't agree more. Talking about your legacy, um, and the journey to create Casamate, which part of your journey do you think your younger self wouldn't believe if he saw you now?
That's another great one, Matt. So for me, it's unbelievable. Uh, and I think my younger self wouldn't believe it either, that to have my own tequila brand, and I wouldn't say only mine because we are, as I mentioned, a group of friends, uh, and but also an incredible team of partners helping making it thrive, right? Because it hasn't been just me. It's been my wife, my family, my friends, partners, everyone that we all are contributing into Casamate. So I would say that kid from Jalisco shaking signs in a street light in LA wouldn't believe it. Wouldn't believe it.
Now, you mentioned a little bit ago a little bit about the recognition and the awards that Casamate has received. When Casamate started winning the awards, did it validate your path or fuel a new kind of passion?
I think both, both, Matt, because the recognition confirmed that we're doing things right, especially with the awards that are coming from blind tastings judged by consumers, right? So that gives us the path, like, okay, we are on the right track. But it also raises the bar because now we're compromised to have every batch. We're compromised, not that every batch needs to meet the same high standard, right? So I would say both. It validates the path, but also puts a little bit of pressure to continue doing the things the right way.
I'm going to throw a little of a loaded question to you.
Okay, okay.
Which award meant the most and which one didn't mean as much?
So I think the blind tasting awards, but consume by consumers, means the most because when consumers that are not professional judges or like expert tequileros or sommeliers, but real consumer uh, choose and validate your tequila, I think that's priceless. And I'm not saying industry awards, nothing bad about them. I think they're still great, but for me, the ones that mean the most, and as a brand owner and as a marketer, is consumers. Right, when consumers get to decide what's their favorite, and I think for us is the one that really matters, because at the end of the day, everything we do is for them, right?
Talking about that, what's one behind the scenes story that you have from one of the awards that you've received?
So I'm trying to think, and I don't think there's any like crazy story behind it. I would say the the main one will be that we missed 1 year because we were going through the importation process, and the batch got delayed in customs, so we didn't make it on time for for them to receive the tequila. So we missed that year. We started this blind tasting with consumer awards that it's called the SIP Awards in 2022. We missed 2023. We were back 2024. I would say that's one of the behind story I will have, but we grateful enough we won 2024. We won already 2025. So probably we would have won something that year too. That's what I can say.
So now, as success starts to get more prominent and it starts echoing louder, how do you stay grounded throughout all of it?
So, I think we have to always remember it's not about me, right? It's about family, it's about heritage, culture, it's about our partners. And the main reason it's about our consumers. So, I think ego doesn't belong here. Only passion, purpose, and daily effort. I think in life, success follows when you do the right way, and one day at a time.
That's such sound advice just for life itself is take everything one day at a time. Take one issue at a time. Take one problem that you have at a time and take all the successes one at a time. Enjoy the moment that you're in.
Yes,
And when it comes to all of that, if you are not able to enjoy the successes, and even though the failures suck, you have to enjoy those as well because they're teaching moments and they're lessons learned
100%,
and for what's going to propel you forward.
100%, 100%.
Now, we talked about growth and scaling and vision, but as the brand has grown pretty fast since inception, what's one risk that you took that fueled the growth instead of killing it?
Right, right, Matt. This answer ge- it's connected to what you were saying, right? One day at a time and doing the right thing and the compound effect, right? Even though it sounds like Casamate is growing fast, which it is since we launched the brand, it hasn't been as you might know that easy. And we've been working in the project since 2017. That's when the idea started, when the planning started, when started putting everything together. And even though right now it looks like it's it's overnight success. To some people can look like that. It hasn't been, a lot of hard work, dedication. But answering your question, I would say the biggest risk was going all in. You're going all in against all odds, and I think all of the all of the entrepreneurs in any business, that's what we do, right? We go against odds. Sometimes we quit our jobs and steady income. You do the things to make things happen. And the same with the tequila industry. Every tequila owner, mezcal owner, I respect, because that's the biggest risk. Going all in, pursuing a dream in an industry that, we have to be honest, is dominated by giants, big corporations that have a lot of power, money, distribution, etc. So I would say that's the biggest risk, just going for it. We have, as mentioned, we have invested our time, savings, heart, but I also believe that passion is contagious, and I think people can feel it. So we are all passionate about what we do, and the reasons why we do it, and I think that's what's fueling our growth.
Now, talking about growth and the heart that goes into the brand, how do you grow and continue to keep the original heartbeat?
I think we have to stay consistent with our core values. We have to always know our why we do this, why we started this, and I think as long as we keep our purpose clear and egos out of the way, because as you know, ego's always in the game, in all phases of life, personal, professional. So I think if we keep that out of the way, growth happens naturally without losing the essence, right?
So what is one market or audience that has connected with your tequila and it really surprised you?
We've been very grateful, and we've been very embraced by women. Women have connected deeply with our brand, not just with the flavor, not just with the profile, but with everything that it represents. Many assume tequila is a man's world, but I've been surprised how women are shaping it, with taste, sophistication, purpose. How they are evolving the industry. Yeah, that's a huge audience that I've been surprised and also very grateful on how they are embracing us.
If Casamate were a person, how has it evolved and what stage would you say it is in now as a person?
Yes, so Casamate is like my son, Ian. He's 15 years old. He's a Casamate's teenager, curious, passionate, learning fast, growing fast into its fully identity. But still young, still at their early stage, humble, but also full of promise.
Moving forward, what's your definition of authenticity and how do you protect it within an industry so obsessed with image?
I think, Matt, authenticity means doing always the right thing, even when no one is watching, right? Staying true to our process, our land, our values. That's how we protect it. Everything else, I think, is just marketing noise. It's just noise.
How do you want Casamate to shift in a global perception of Mexican craftsmanship?
That's a great one, Matt. So, we want to see people. Sorry, let me rephrase this. We want people to see that Mexican craftsmanship is not about trends or celebrity names. Uh, it's more than that. Mexican craftsmanship is about heritage, it's about authenticity, it's about soul. And in Casamate, that's what we want to show what the real Mexico tastes like.
In talking about what the real Mexico tastes like, what part of the tequila making process feels almost spiritual to you?
I always like to find more meaning in everything in life or situations or what we do. So for me, the agave teaches life because like life starts in the soil, which is our foundation, right? Our foundation of values and purpose. Water represents our daily discipline, right? You water it and wait patiently. Sun represents challenges and growth. So for me, the agave reminds us that real progress is slow and invisible at first, but with patience and care, sweetness comes, right? So I think the best things in tequila and in life are born from time, patience, and faith.
Keeping up with the process and everything that you just mentioned, what keeps you obsessed with the process and not just the results?
So at Casa Mate, we are obsessed with the process because that's where the soul of tequila is born. As I just mentioned, from the patience of growing agaves under the sun for years to the hands that harvest the jimadores, to the people that cook it, that craft it. So every steps reflects respect for time, nature, and people. This process is sacred. It's where we honor our land, our roots, our commitment to purity, and the result, a bottle of casamate, is simply the reward of doing things the right way.
Well, Francisco, I do appreciate your time. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, so thank you so much as well for having me, Matt. I really appreciate you for inviting me to the Tactical Tequila podcast, which, by the way, I've been following, and what you're building is amazing to see how you bring people together through real intentional conversations. People can find us in our social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, with the tag Casamate Tequila. They can also find us in Casamate in our website, casamatetequila.com. Usually people ask us, where can I find you? As you know, we are a small batch starting to grow. Right now, we're only selling in California. Next year, we're planning to expand to Texas, Florida, a couple other states. But in the meantime, people can buy us online. There's couple of good partners that people can acquire and buy the tequila online, and they can get it delivered at their door. I believe there's like 40 states that are allowed to get hand deliver alcohol at their homes. And yeah, if any questions, we have our contact in our website. You guys can also email me at francisco@casamatetequila.com. And yeah, as I mentioned, very grateful to be here, Matt. Excited to talk about Casamate, the journey, and everything that happens behind the scenes in a world of conscious tequila. I really appreciate you, Matt. I hope I can get to see you in person again soon so we can cheer and talk more tequila stories together.
Yes, for sure. Well, we need to get you in Las Vegas and we need to get you in Nevada for distribution. And any way that I can help facilitate that, I would love to get you guys in contact with distributors here.
That will
So,
be fantastic, Matt. We would love to. Thank you so much. As I mentioned, group of friends helping
yes.
in any way possible. So really, really appreciate you, Matt.
Well, Francisco, I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. Your time is valuable and I appreciate you being on the show. All right, everyone. Thank you and thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone. See you guys soon. Bye. Cheers.